What is up, YouTube? JankyYGO here. My name is Michael, and today we have new cards to talk about coming out of the Agent Structure deck. So, let's just jump right into it. So, the first up we have is a Synchro monster called Master Hyperion. It's a light fairy synchro effect, level 10, 3200 attack, 2600 defense. It's one tuner plus one or more non-tuner fairy monsters. Uh, you can only use this card's first and second effects each per turn. Its first effect is you can send one agent monster or one monster that specifically lists Sanctuary in the Sky in its text from your hand, deck, or extra deck to the graveyard. Until the end phase, this card's name becomes the sent monster's original name, replaces this monster's original effects, and yeah. And then the second effect is when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can banish one fairy monster from your hand or graveyard, then target one card on the field and banish it. So the first effect is a little bit scary every time we see a monster have these effects, with the exception of Phantom of Chaos. They end up being broken. This one, hopefully because of the downside that it has to be an agent or Sanctuary in the Sky, there isn't going to be any kind of like FTKs with it, because that's usually what these copy effects end up happening. Copying effects necessarily isn't inherently broken. It's just that there usually is a card that makes them broken somewhere. We saw those with like Tyrant Neptune and the Lyralusk, but I also think that the Tyrant Neptune was probably the right hit, because at some point that card was just going to be broken again. Um, but yeah, I think that this card is pretty powerful. I don't like that you have to rely on your opponent to activate a card in order to get its banish effect. Personally, I'd rather it not be a quick effect and just be a banish a one to banish another card. That way we can have the deck kind of push for OTK. This could be like an OTK push card instead of a reactive card. Um, but that's just me. So we're gonna move on to next up is Majesty Hyperion, or Majesty Hyperion, which is a dark fairy effect, level 8, 2100 attack and 2700 defense. It's it can only be special summoned by the first procedure of this card's name once per turn. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing one agent monster from your hand, field, or graveyard. So it has a similar summoning condition as Master Hyperion. When your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving fairy monsters instead. And once per turn, you can banish one fairy monster from your hand or graveyard, then target one card in either graveyard and banish it. If Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field or in the graveyard, you can activate this card's effect up to twice per turn. So, uh, the fact that it's not quick effect kind of hurts the third effect, but it is a more proactive thing. I honestly think that that one should have been more of a quick effect, and then the other one on the monster that banishes things should have been a not quick effect, because that way you could banish things like and everything to get rid of cards, and it would just be an upgraded Master Hyperion. And this, in the way, is supposed to be like an alternative to Master Hyperion. Master Hyperion can pop up to 2 cards, and this can banish up to 2 from the graveyard. So it's kind of a roundabout way to necessarily like you could banish the cards that you end up destroying with Master Hyperion, or in this case you could also end up banishing cards in the graveyard that have effects that they can't activate necessarily right away. Like maybe they have a spell card with a grave effect, or they have a monster that um, has a grave effect that they couldn't use that exact turn. But, those are just some of the things that are possible with this card. Is getting rid of cards in the graveyard is very good in Yu-Gi-Oh! But I think that DD Crow kind of does what this card is trying to do a little bit better, since you can activate DD Crow at a quick, that's supposed to be 2. However, this does have a body. A 2100 attack is nothing to scoff at, and your opponent still takes battle damage that you would instead. So you can end up attacking over a lot of, you can crash some of your lower agent monsters into him, or in general like that. So it does have its uses. It's not a bad card. Uh, and yeah, it's not a bad card. I just think that it also could be, it could have been better. So next up, is, and this is the last new card, and then we can kind of scroll through the reprints. Um, Agent of Life Neptune, and it's a light fairy effect that's a level 1 with 0 attack and 600 defense. Its first and second effects are hard ones for turns. Its first effect is you can discard this card, special summon one agent monster from your hand or graveyard, except itself, but it can't be tributed until the end of your opponent's turn. And if you control Sanctuary in the Sky, you can special summon a one Hyperion monster instead. And if this card becomes banished, you can add one Sanctuary in the Sky from your deck to your hand. So I think that this card is really good as well. And what makes this card pretty good is that you discard it to just special summon one of your agents back. Maybe you summon your Earth and all that. I think Earth has to be normal summon to get its effect to search. I don't remember. But off the top of my head, it's been a while since I've played agents or played against agents even. But I think that uh, the banish thing is nice synergy with the Hyperion monsters, because all the Hyperion monsters, you banish a card to do something. This is also a monster reborn for the deck. It's also a searchable monster reborn for the deck at that. And it's not just a searchable monster reborn, it also adds fuel for your Hyperions as well. So for example, if you have this and Earth in your hand, you can normal summon Earth, and then you can search for a card, and then you can discard this and special summon one of your agents. And this also helps you get out the bigger agents and everything, because some of the agents are like level 5s and 6, and this can help you get out that. And it's also a level 1 too, so this card has a lot of good things going for it. And the fact that it gets an effect while it's banished to add a Sanctuary in the Sky is very good as well. So definitely some good cards for the archetype. And I'd be excited. I hope that these 3 cards aren't the only new cards they're getting. I hope there's at least 2 more. Um, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's just scroll through some of the reprints. Of course, Master Hyperion and all the agent cards, except for Earth, is what's been shown. We got there'll be 2 shine balls, and one of them will be parallel rare apparently, because that'll be with Venus, I'm assuming. Sanctuary in the Sky, of course. We got cards in the sky. There's Agent, Earth. Okay, there's Earth and there's Venus. So yeah, and the Arrival of the Sun pack that comes with it. So, in the OCG, they get packs with their structure deck. We don't over here, but they usually tend to include the cards anyway for the packs and everything. And so we'll probably end up getting a Venus in ours as well as Earth. I'd be really disappointed if this structure deck just didn't come with a copy of Earth. Overall, I think that this structure deck is pretty cool for those who like the agent structure deck. I know that before they had a tuner in Earth, but they didn't really have any like super good synchros to go into. They had like the generic good synchros. I'm pretty sure they didn't have synchros that involved that they wanted to go into specifically. So that's a pretty cool thing. But that's gonna do it for this video. You can tell me what you think of the new agent support cards in the comment section below. If it is your birthday today, happy birthday! And if you want to send me any cool deck profiles or replays, maybe playing agents, maybe playing some of the new support in general, whether it be agents, Plunder Freeze, or anything like that, I would love to see them. My email is in the description. Please send all that kind of stuff there. And of course, and as always, have a wonderful day.